our good friend Tarrah Garris. Tarrah the Turtle is joining us this morning. She's also currently doing the TikToks as well, a little bit of a live stream. If you guys got any ideas about social technology and all the newfangled ways of communicating, you might want to give us a call at 615-292-6366 and ask our in-house expert on all such things, Tarrah, about that. It's a special Road Gang edition of Tarrah's Tidbits. Good morning to you, T.
Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning, Dave. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing great, Tarrah. Doing great. Even better now that you're with us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, stop it.
Okay, we're glad you're with us too, Andre.
As he waves a knife.
So, Tarrah, it's a special...
He's waving a knife.
He's waving a knife, yeah.
Thank God he's long distance.
Yeah, I mean, talk about social media. We can all four see each other on Google Meets as Dave does the Psycho Killer Qu'est-ce que c'est kind of replay over there. Tarrah, it's a special Road Gang edition of Tarrah's Tidbits, is it not?
It is. Every comment, every message, everything is Road Gang related. I've been collecting them for a little while now, been waiting for a good opportunity to just do all of them at once. But first...
Here's 7 years worth of comments.
Yes, about maybe 10. I want to talk about the last discussion that we had on Tarrah's Tidbits. Dave, you weren't a part of the conversation, but I know you were listening about the action figures.
Yes.
I want to know your thoughts on the action figures, and I also want to know if there's anyone in the trucking industry that you think needs their own action figure.
Well, I heard you mention Candy Bass, and she would have been on top of the list, of course.
Absolutely.
But I ran into a couple that I hadn't seen in years, and they were part and parcel of the old Road Gang, and that is Snuffy and Granny, Ron and Diane Smith. And they used to dress up as Snuffy and Granny, and they kind of did a comedy act, and he had a banjo that was made out of a toilet seat, the toilet seat banjo. I don't know, he may be listening right now, or maybe somebody got a picture of Snuffy's toilet seat banjo, but that was classic. It was funny.
We'll put it on a PSA for the toilet seat banjo.
Yes, Hope Savara, I think, actually did one. Travel Centers of America also did one. And speaking of that, yes, they did a couple of them. They were really cool. We also just posted a Maintenance Matters segment on our YouTube channel, so go there with Kevin Lindsay, of course, and the guys from Castrol. So go to youtube.com/Radio Nemo to check that out. Hit the subscribe button, guys. It is free. We just don't want you to miss out on all this fresh new content, and we're going to be posting a whole lot more there as well. A couple things today, too. So go hit the subscribe button. It is free. But I cannot go on without saying that Ten Ring actually just joined my TikTok live. So that is really cool. Let's go.
I don't even know how to do that. I would do it right now if I knew how to do it.
Well, the fact that you mentioned it, I guess they looked me up.
I didn't mean to
so
make you spit up
hi.
that coffee there, Andre.
So I guess, do you guys want to move on to the comment section real quick?
No, I want to learn how to do it.
Let's go. Let's do it.
I'll teach you about TikTok later, Dave. Later. Okay, this first comment comes from CWM. He writes, I first listened to Dave when I was a cop in Alabama on the overnight shift. I learned a lot about the trucking industry and kept that in mind when interacting with them. Then we had a comment from Steve S. This was a short one, but I had to include it. It says, I found the Road Gang back in 75. And it just amazes me how far back some of these connections go, Dave. I don't know if you know, just the amount of people that still listen these days, but I don't know, it's just been so long, and they always come back and say the date that they started listening and who was on at that time. And what does that mean to you? I don't know what that would mean to me. That's a lot.
It means everything. Yeah, it means everything, it means that I'm one of the guys. That's what it feel like. That's what I wanted to be. That's what I thought I was becoming 50-something years ago, and I think that may have happened. And I can't thank the guys out there and I say guys, but we know the ladies are important, but the ladies are still so few and far between. Like Candy is a great example of that. And there aren't many candies out. In fact, there are no other candies out there. Let's forget
One
that
and only.
right now. But all of the ladies that we saw at Women in Trucking, the other day, and Matt's and all of the drivers there. So I say guys, but I mean everybody. And I can't. It's very humbling, and I have no comment, no response. I don't know how to react to that. It's so loving. I guess is a great word. It really is.
I wanted to kind of ask Dave a question here, Tarrah. You made mention of a guy listening to it while working the third shift as a policeman, as a trooper, and I was kind of curious, Dave. When did you begin to realize that you were also not just talking to truck drivers, but that you were talking to people who you were actually giving them a crash course? No pun intended, really no pun intended, in what it meant to be in the trucking industry. That you had listeners beyond just those in trucks, and in fact were talking to people who were driving late at night or listening late at night and giving them a primer on what it meant to be a truck driver.
I don't know that I did that per se, or at least it probably happened, Jim, but not purposefully. In other words, I wasn't there to enlighten or teach the four-wheeler, if you will. But I did know that we had a lot of policemen and firemen, night watchmen, because we companions together late at night like that. A lot of farmers would be calling at 2:30 in the morning. They're getting up to feed the chickens or milk the cows, and they'd like to hear a comedy cut or maybe a song request. So we kind of knew, Jimmy, that we would hear from folks is how we knew that they were out there. And the program wasn't trucking industry, trucking news, trucking information oriented, because there wasn't any. I mean there was, but don't get me wrong. It wasn't this constant barrage that we hear today, to where we don't even have time to play a song, a trucking song, because we got to talk about something else in this industry. I don't mean just here, but the industry has exploded in terms of information and need to know. Back then, all you needed to know was, am I alive? Am I driving? Am I awake? And that's where we come in.
Exactly. I mean, the next comment, it really ties that in. It's from Donald N., and he says, Dave made his hobby a way of life, and for us out on the road, he will always be a friend and a legend. And the next comment is from Dan S., and it says, he set the standard for news and entertainment. Informative, passionate, caring, fun. He presents the facts. If he disagrees with someone or something, he does it with class and grace. And who doesn't love a good acronym every now and then?
Oh, Dan, you
had to
brother.
put that in there. Just
Yes,
had to,
indeed.
of course.
Yeah.
What I also love, by the way, is that Jim and Joanne, when they come on Canada Calling, which, by the way, along with Robert Braswell's 21 years, they've been with us 17, 18, depending on how you want to look at it. Every time Joanne encounters a new acronym, Tarrah, she always says, I have a new acronym for Dave. And they try to figure out the pronunciation. And then, of course, they fail. And I think they fail on purpose so that you get your first crack at the title of the alphabet soup that has been rapidly developing over your time here. There's one more question I'm going to have. I'm going to ask Dave, and then we're going to take a break and let him think about this, Tarrah. We'll come back on the other side. The question is in regards to making the move from entertainment radio to news and informational radio. When did you start realizing that there were all of these government agencies and organizations out there that were playing a bigger part? Did you not realize how big the trucking world was, even though you sat in the middle of it for 20 plus years or so, until the whole world changed in regards to broadcasting? Andre's going to take us to a quick break here. It's Tarrah's Tidbits on the Dave Nemo Show. We'll be right back with a timestamp and the rest of the show. Give us a call if you want to. Maybe we'll get you under the fence. We're talking all things Dave, all things Road Gang. Thank you, T.
It's an electric fence, but we'll turn the switch off. For you.
Freight is moving at Creek Carrier and Schaefer Trucking. We are growing and our customers keep growing with us. If you want to be part of a company that appreciates what you do and rewards you for it, you should check out Creek Carrier Corporation. We're looking for safe drivers that have at least 1 year's experience and take their jobs seriously. Then we reward you with great pay and some real serious benefits. Freight's moving, so check out Creed and Schaefer today. Go to creekcarrier.com and find the right job for you.
The mission of Wreaths Across America is unwavering, remembering our fallen heroes, honoring those who are currently serving, along with their families, and most importantly, teaching the next generation about the value of freedom. And you can join our mission with a $17 donation that sponsors a fresh Maine Balsam Remembrance Wreath. Each wreath will be laid in honor of a veteran who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. To sponsor your wreath, please visit wreathsacrossamerica.org. That's wreathsacrossamerica.org.
Thirsty for a deal? The Ultra One loyalty program has you covered. Due to popular demand, the new Ultra One beverage credit promo is extended through the end of April, giving you more time to enjoy refreshing rewards. Continue to fill up with 60 gallons of diesel fuel at participating TA, Petro, and TA Express locations and earn a free beverage credit redeemable for any size fountain drink or a fresh brewed cup of coffee. But don't wait. Credits are only valid through the following calendar day. So join Ultra One now to fuel up and sip on well-earned rewards. Learn more at ta-petro.com/Ultra One.
Everybody calls me the girl in the little pink Mac. The bumpers are chrome and so are the wheels and the stack.
Hey guys, it's currently 9:47. It's a time to look for a good repair shop, but you find too many pins on the maps? Well, Truckdown is going to connect you to the right dot for maintenance in the exact spot you need. It is currently 9:47. The dot you want to look for is truckdown.com. At 9:47 on the Dave Nemo Show, Tarrah's Tidbits continues here. Tarrah the Turtle is with us. She's currently doing Tarrah the Turtle on TikTok, is giving tidbits of information to our good friend Dave Nemo. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here. I am live in 2 ways right now, which is really fun. I'm getting some live comments. 10 Ring joined the live. I feel like some other callers joined the live, some listeners as well, but I don't know their usernames on TikTok, so it's hard to tell. But
Identify yourself.
Identify yourself. Comment in the live. Tell me who you are. Anyways, we're going to move on into our direct messages now. And we have one from JDS. He writes, I've been a listener since the days when Jamie and Rooster were part of the Nemo crew. The show has not only taught me a lot, it's kept me out of sticky situations, especially road closures and weather. I often enjoy a cigar and a scotch with my buddy Tom Watts, a radio personality in Joplin, Missouri. We reminisce about Dave's historic career, a true staple in the trucking industry. He also asked about a road gang pin, and Jimmy, we'll get to that in a second because I found a whole plethora. I feel like I found Pandora's box of all these pin submissions on our website that I didn't know existed.
I got them, Tarrah. I got
So,
enough pins for people.
I'm excited. There's a whole lot more than we even thought, and there was a lot to begin with, so we're really excited. But just know that if you haven't received it yet and you did a submission on our website, it's going to come a little later than the first round came out because I just now realized you guys were doing that on the website as well. So you will get your pin. And JD also asked for his pin. He finished by saying, I'll continue to be a listener and continue to watch the show grow with Dave at the Roots. Have a blessed day. And these such kind messages this morning, Dave.
Well, you know what we've been saying about roots around here.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Okay, moving on.
Moving forward. Okay, so we have a couple more messages that I ended up finding on the website that I didn't know we had a submissions. Thank you guys for submitting. I will now begin to respond to these and bring these straight to Dave and Jimmy on air. But this one says, good morning, Mr. Nemo. Your show and the cast of the Road Gang are a shining light for us here out on the road. Thank you, and God bless you all. That comes in from Sean L. Then we have from Tom W. Hey, Dave, what was the name of that bluegrass show that you had at night on WWL in the 70s? It came on after the Road Gang. Are there any recordings of it? It was the best and worth staying up for. Do you have any info on this, Dave?
Okay. I love bluegrass. When I was in the Army, I was stationed at AFKN, Armed Forces Korea Network, in Yongsan Army Air Force Base in Seoul, Korea, early 70s. And there was a Air Force sergeant who did an early morning show of bluegrass music. And I met him and talked to him, and I said, I love this music, but I don't know what it is. I said, I've heard this kind of music on a couple of TV shows, like the Andy Griffith shows, when the Darlin family was in jail and they would play the instrument, and then on Beverly Hillbillies, and they would have Flatt and Scruggs come on. I said, well, what kind of music is that? And he says, well, that is bluegrass, son. That's called bluegrass music. And gave me a little history, told me about Bill Monroe and blah, blah, blah. When I came back out of the Army, I went to Sears and Roebuck catalog and bought a $79 Silvertone banjo and the Earl Scruggs book on how to play the banjo and learn how to play it. That bluegrass show that I did on the Road Gang was called the Saturday Morning Blue. It was after the Road Gang, so it was early, I think 5 o'clock in the morning. it was called the Saturday Morning Bluegrass Review. And it was so popular that folks wanted me to do another one on Sunday morning. So the Sunday morning show, I called it the Saturday Morning Bluegrass Review Part 2. Now, you guys get that pun. It's kind of a joke, right?
Right.
I park the car one night to go in to do the show. And one of the guys who worked in the TV station next door, he walked through the TV station, get the radio station, and he just read me the riot act about how this is an older guy. I'm a kid. He's one of the older guy. He read me the riot act about how stupid it was to call the Sunday Morning Bluegrass Show the Saturday Morning Bluegrass Show. And I said, wait a minute, you're not getting the joke. It's the Saturday Morning Bluegrass Review Part 2. So that's my story.
You could have called it the New Blue Review.
The New Blue Review. Yeah.
Do you remember that show, by the way? Tarrah, you don't remember this. Talk about the
I
70s.
won't.
There's a show called the New Zoo Review. Do you remember that? On
Vaguely,
public television would come after
yes,
Zoo. The New
yeah.
Zoo Review coming right
Yes.
at you. I mean, it didn't have the staying power of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or Zoom, but it was called the New Zoo Review. Go on, T.
Speaking of colors, speaking of the 70s, we just played Little Pink Mac, and that actually brings us to our next comment, and the 70s also does too. This comment comes in from James D. He says, Dave, you're the reason I drive a truck. In 72, my grandmother got me a new radio. It was pink, but when I turned it on, it was WWL. I listen to drivers call in from different places every day. I've been driving for 48 years now with 5.6 million safe miles. Thank you for keeping me awake and safe. Hope to meet you one day.
5.6 safe
That's
million miles.
insane.
You
Dave.
want to talk about peak 70s, though? That, nowadays, if somebody's grandmother gives them a pink radio, they're throwing it away, unless that's their favorite color. They're like, I don't want that. That's not good. Man,
get it out of here.
That's not right. In the 70s, man, you lived with what you lived with. It's like if
Yeah,
somebody
you
bought
got that
you,
radio and you were excited.
that was it, man. Somebody got you a strawberry shortcake lunchbox, you had to bring it to school. And you'd get punished for it, by your friends, but you had to do it. A pink radio, Dave. Somebody liked you so much they listened to you on a pink radio.
Yeah, and you would listen to it for sure. I got to say that the more I think about it, the more I delve into it. And for as many decades as I've been around, yeah, the 50s, that is unique. The 60s, very different. But the 70s was just the strangest in every way, good, bad, and indifferent. But it was the strangest decade I think we've had.
And I think part of the reason is I think it's the only time where alternative culture was the mainstream.
Yeah.
I really
but
believe
nobody
that.
knew what to do with it.
I really believe that, from the movies to the music to the cultural kind of rhythms, everything else, the mainstream has always been the mainstream. In the 70s, it's like, what would happen if all the people that were freaks, geeks, and maniacs took over the thing and ended up on the radio in the wee small hours of the morning, Dave Nemo style? Tarrah, we got to take a really quick phone call here. Uncle Spazzy wants to just drop in a really quick comment. What's going on, Uncle Spaz?
Oh, not much. Just call me KSR 1493. That's all. Dave knows the reference to that. But anyway, I've been listening to you, Dave, since before the merger of Sirius and XM. Actually, Bill Mack and
Trucking Bozo, Dale Summers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You used to come on in between there somewhere, and that's when I started listening to you.
I was on early morning, and then it was Bill, and then it was Bozo, and all three of us wound up on XM together at the same time after being competitors for all of those many years. And I'll never forget being on that Diaz up there, that older by then, and everything. But getting together like that on XM was really awesome. It really was.
We're gonna miss you. I mean, we're gonna miss hearing you on the radio every morning. You know that, right?
Well,
every morning.
I ain't going away. We've got some plans here.
We got some big things. Bro, Uncle Spazzy, we got to get back to Tarrah the Turtle.
Oh,
but brother,
no,
it's
we don't
good
have to get
hear.
back to me.
Oh, Uncle Spazzy, thank you for the call, brother. Please give us a call tomorrow too, as well. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, man.
Keep on trucking.
Thank you, sir. Well done. We turn back to Tarrah the Turtle for Tarrah's Tidbits. What else you got, T? What else is going on out
I
there?
have another comment. This one's from Mike B. He says, "Hey Dave, Mike here, longtime listener since, once again, 72, the year my dad was born. We've shared many miles together, my friend. Can you tell me a little bit about Max Campbell and Gary Salisbury? I caught a tail end of a segment, and you were talking about it. He says he used to be at FILO from 98 to 2002, and they were great people. Of course, I think the world of you as well, Dave. You've helped so many people, including me. God bless you, my friend." What can you tell us about that, Dave?
Mike B., God bless you too. Well, Max passed away. He passed away way too young. What a wonderful guy. Started off as a dispatcher. And I have a photo of Max when he first started with Fikes. And he was sitting behind his desk. You know that classic deer in the headlight look that folks get when they just don't know what the heck they're doing here? He had that look. It's such a beautiful, funny photo of Max. And Gary, still hear from Gary. We kind of exchange a comment here or an email or a text every once in a while. But Gary's still going. Gary Salisbury is the first guy, one of the very few guys, Jimmy and Tarrah, that I've met that never was a company driver. He went out and bought a truck and became a trucker.
What year was this?
Early 70s.
That's real. I mean, that's dangerous independence. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like the that's the whole big thing in Convoy, the conversation that Borgnine and Christofferson have. I mean, that's a guy taking a real risk, right? I mean, that's somebody looking. That's before deregulation, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. And Gary and his beautiful, wonderful wife, Susie. I haven't seen them in a long time, but just great people and salt of the earth kind of folks. Yeah.
I want to ask Tarrah really quickly. Tarrah often is the person who gets to travel to places that she's never been before, being that she is so young and full of promise and hope. We're going to California, are we not, really soon?
We are, like, in less than a week. I'm so excited. I've never been to California before. I've never been past Colorado that way, and I even drove from Tennessee to Colorado. So I'm really excited to go that direction.
And we'll be there for the ACT conference over there. Our friends from Transport Topics will also be over there. Maybe we'll run into them. And at the same time, Lindsay's going to have to host the show for Dave because he's going to be in downtown New Orleans, right, Dave? I mean, you're going to head on over to CVSA.
Next Tuesday and Wednesday, the second half of the show will be from the Convention Center downtown here in New Orleans, and we'll be with the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, and we'll have a big lineup of guests to talk about some very important things concerning the trucking industry, law enforcement, and rules and regulations, and highway safety.
Tarrah, we've only got about a minute and a half here. I got a minute left now, so what else you got before we shuffle off this radio coil?
Honestly, that wraps up Tarrah's Tidbits for today. But guys, go check us out on all the social media platforms at Radio Nemo Online, or just type in Radio Nemo. You will find us. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe at Radio Nemo, youtube.com/Radio Nemo. We are posting so many full-length interviews, lots of content that you guys don't want to miss out on. So go check it out. Also, radionemo.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Subscribe. It is free. There's good, exciting things coming. Jimmy, Dave, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
There's radio in real time, which is this. There is radio on your time, which is that. So do all of those links that Tarrah just described.
Thank you, Dave.